So, anybody heard the breaking news that they released a bunch, they meaning Congress? The Oversight Committee released a lot of documents on the Epstein files. So, we are going to just talk a little bit about the emails that were released. And I believe, August, you have a clip to show us with kind of an overview of that.
Here we go.
Emails have now been made public, some of them referencing Trump himself. The president was asked why he won't ask the FBI now to make the Epstein files public, after the president suggested he would do so during the campaign. Tonight, more of these emails now coming to light, Epstein calling Trump, quote, dangerous, and what else the convicted sex offender said about Donald Trump. And now this vote coming in the House on whether to release the Epstein files. Mary Bruce at the White House.
Tonight, President Trump refusing to answer why he won't let the FBI release the Jeffrey Epstein files, even as just revealed messages written by the sex offender raise new questions about their friendship and whether Trump was aware of Epstein's crimes.
Mr. President, why won't you order the FBI to release the Epstein files?
Epstein's messages, part of a trove of thousands of documents from his estate, now made public by the House Oversight Committee. Trump's name coming up again and again. In a 2017 email to former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, Epstein writing, "I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. So yes, dangerous." In a 2018 text to an unidentified person, Epstein writes, "I am the one who can take him down." Trump and Epstein were friends for more than a decade.
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
After Trump launched his presidential campaign in 2015, Epstein told at least one reporter he had dirt to share, suggesting, quote, "Ask my houseman about Donald almost walking through the door, leaving his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool, and he was so focused he walked straight into the door." Epstein then asking, "Would you like photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen?" Trump, who has denied any wrongdoing, says he broke off the friendship when he learned Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell were luring away women and teenage girls who worked at Mar-a-Lago.
He stole people that worked for me. Don't ever do that again. He did it again, and I threw him out of the place, persona non grata.
In a 2019 email to author Michael Wolff, Epstein writes, "Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member, ever. Of course, he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop." In an email to Maxwell, Epstein seems to imply Trump had information he never revealed, writing, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump." The White House insists the emails prove the president did nothing wrong. Democrats don't see it that way.
The emails that were released today, again, just raise so many more questions.
Now 218 lawmakers, including 4 Republicans, have signed a petition that will force a full House vote to demand the release of the Epstein files.
We're going to put that on the floor for a full vote next week as soon as we get back.
During the campaign, Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance promised their supporters they would release the full Epstein files. Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel did too. But now, a different story. The White House fighting hard to block the full House vote. At the 11th hour, even summoning Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert to the Situation Room, where sources say Bondi and Patel tried to convince her to change her mind on the petition, but she did not.
And the House is expected to vote on that measure next week, and we could see something we don't often see. We expect dozens of Republicans to break with the president and demand the Epstein files be released, something many Republican voters have wanted for a very long time. David.
Mary Bruce live at the White House tonight. Mary, thank you.
Back over to you, Kim.
Thank you. That's a great overview. And actually, I pulled up the actual emails. I'm going to show you where you can find a lot of these documents. This is a one where he says, I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim redacted, spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Oh, police chief, etc. He says I'm 75% there. Not sure what he means by that. And she responds, I've been thinking about that. So the dog that hasn't barked is in reference to he sees what's happening, but he's not talking about it. So that's kind of a term that's out there when thieves come to the house and the dog doesn't bark. That's where that term comes from. So he knew about all this and never said a word about what was going on. So he's lying about that, but we kind of all knew that. Another one, this one was victim Mar-a-Lago. It's all redacted. Trump said he asked me to resign, never a member. So we saw that one. They talked about that one. And then the last one, I'm going to show you where you can get all these. The last one is, I think you should this is in with Michael Wolff, and he's been obviously on a lot of interviews lately when this came out. So it's I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in Scrum afterwards. And Wolff responds, I think it's Wolff that responds, oh, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it would be? I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or in the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in the way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and he's gotten a raw deal, a victim of political blah, 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 which is exactly what he did, right?
Yeah.
So, and of course, this is Jeffrey Epstein was talking about a different Donald Trump insists the White House. This is satire, but this is kind of what they do, right? Nothing to see here. This is a nothing burger. This doesn't mean he did anything. Blah, 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 blah. We hear the same old thing. Yet 26 women accused Trump of sexual assault or harassment. So maybe we should just believe the women. Why can we never believe the women? I don't think this is the end of this. Thoughts, anybody?
Yeah, that's what it is. We know he's guilty, and it's just a matter of us being able to prove it. I mean, I think that's why his hand got the big rash on it, because that was the hand he used. That's what I think. I think, I don't like him.
I hear you.
I don't like him.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And he won't even talk about it. He won't discuss it. And I noticed that on Don's show today, when he was talking to Michael Wolff, he kind of seemed upset today talking to him. He didn't seem his same calm self telling him a story about Donald Trump, because Wolff knew something too before.
Exactly. And he's being called out. So that's why you see that he's really kind of retreating. You are correct on it. I just want to bring in, I left it up, Jazzy's comment. In my gut, I know Trump had something to do with Epstein's death. I just know it. He was president and I think feared Epstein outing him and running his presidency. So he got rid of him. Now, Gillen. I'm right, Jazzy. You nailing it. You right on time. That is no conspiracy. That's just plain old facts. When you know that someone has a hot potato on you, what do? You get rid of them.
Yeah.
And why
he would never be man enough. He would never be man enough to say, yeah, I did it. No, he would never do that.
Why he pardoning Ghislaine?
Oh, well, because she has the other piece of the story. And trust me, she's going to also wind up in a rough position.
Yeah, she's in her fancy prison right now, but I got news for her. They're supposed no more fancy prison.
So I want to play another clip, and I'm wondering, I've been hearing a lot more Republicans behind the scenes are kind of seeing the writing on the wall. So we can talk a little bit about that. But let's hear from this young lady.
Well, I don't know about you. I keep thinking as I'm reading through these, like, these are so horrific, but this is the stuff that has gotten out. How bad is the stuff that they are trying so hard to prevent from seeing the light of day? I've posted about it a little bit on Blue Sky today, and you're welcome to go over there and look. I'm only going to actually talk about one of the emails in this video. But as I was reading through all of this earlier, something stuck out to me that also stuck out to my boy Chris Hayes. I have a lot of ambivalence for MSNBC, especially after they let Joyanne Reid go. But I do think Chris frequently has good takes. So he said, something that's so striking in these emails is how unimpressive Epstein is. He comes off as a pompous, subliterate lech, yet everyone is so mortifyingly solicitous of him, all fawning and flattering. Why? Yeah, this is something that I noticed as well. And maybe it didn't occur to Chris because he's a dude, but this is literally how women perceive every corrupt, abusive man in power. Oh, my husband's bringing me a beer. Thanks, babe. That's nice of you. I think he could hear from the kitchen that I'm talking about the Epstein files, and he knows how I feel about it. Also, no criticizing the barley wine in a Scotch glass. I do what I want. So, like, maybe this is something that is difficult for men to grasp, but every woman looks at a corrupt, terrible man in power. I don't give a shit if we're talking about Bill Clinton or Donald Trump or your pastor at your church or your lecherous boss. Like, we all know men like this who are propped up by other people, who are enabled in doing terrible, awful things, victimizing women and girls in this instance, because so many other people are around them protecting them. They're not even particularly charismatic. They're not compelling in any way. I don't know how they get other people to do this for them. But honestly, this is one of the reasons it was so easy for me to grasp this concept of the pillars of support underneath a fascist. That it is all of these people and institutions under somebody like Donald Trump that prop him up, that an autocrat doesn't actually have very much power. It is the power and protection and enabling that so many other people and institutions extend to the autocrat. That's why he's able to carry out his cruel, awful, abusive, terrible plans. That's why he's able to oppress and imprison and kill people and take away our rights and dismantle our government, right? An autocrat is actually weak. And I don't have a degree in psychology. I don't understand well enough why it is that people are willing to do that work, other than they think they can enrich themselves, other than they think they will get some part of that power. And when we look at Jeffrey Epstein, to me, it's baffling that so many people have protected him for so long and so much power. And we could talk about how there's a lot of speculation about how foreign governments are involved and how deep the money goes. How did everybody let that get wrapped up in Jeffrey Epstein in the first place? Like, how is it that this has spiraled so out of control that so many people have been willing to sacrifice these women and girls for years and years, for men like Jeffrey Epstein, for men like Donald Trump? And then
that's it. Yeah, she goes on about that, but she is so spot on those things.
How did all of a sudden 2 guards that normally don't fall asleep fell asleep? You know, I think somebody put something in their drinks or something, or put something in their food, and then or they just bribed them with money. I don't believe Epstein committed suicide. You know, what was Rudy Giuliani? Why did he pardon him? Because he know
Because
too
they
much.
all know. Exactly.
Mhm.
Remember, he was his lawyer at one point, so he was his confidant when Cohen went down. And I believe Cohen knows a little bit because he was paying the girls for him.
That's
So
right.
I know Cohen kind of do the 2 steps at time, but no one's talking about that. But Jazzy, I'm right there with you. I always call you out because your comments are prolific. What Epstein knew, Ghislaine knew. So you are correct.
Absolutely. And so one more thing I want to share on this is that if you just do a search on Oversight Committee and the Epstein files, there'll be a little link that you can go to, and it'll take you to Epstein estate documents. And there is a ton of stuff here. So for your late night reading, displeasure,
Yeah, you're right.
because I can imagine that some of this stuff is going to be difficult. Weeding through it probably will be difficult because it's, it's not all those emails like we saw. You're going to have to dig through things, but there's all kinds of data in these folders. So I just wanted to share that. If you go see for yourself, I always encourage people to do their homework and go look for yourself. Way too many people knew about all this before the election and didn't say a thing. They allowed DJT and his fascist regime to walk right into the White House. I am with you on that. That's why I left the Democratic Party, because I was angry that they allowed this to happen.
Who was the gentleman? Was he a judge who dragged his feet? I can't remember his name. And had an opportunity to go forward for impeachment of Donald Trump, and he never finished the job. Does anybody recall?
That who went forward and didn't complete the job?
Well, he didn't go forward. He moved really slow in regards to
every time. I keep saying it's so many people involved in this, and banks and lawyers, and I mean, and like we said yesterday, it's international. It's everybody's involved. We would be shocked if we find out all that's involved.
Yeah, this goes way beyond Trump.
I just want to bring up one thing. Just guys, keep in mind that the reason why Jeffrey Epstein made his money, not only did he tape everyone, he also made notes. So his estate has all the tapes from every last one of those people that have slept with these girls. So even if the survivors don't even say anything, trust and believe he has tapes. That's how he made his money. He actually, and I'm not going to say allegedly, he actually taped them and bribed them. Like, hey, I have this on you. This is how I'm going to make my money. This is how I'm going to get you. And he realized how powerful that was. So that's why allegedly Trump has done the same. I have to say that because he's still alive. So allegedly that's what Trump is doing as well.
We didn't
go back to democracy, John. Jesus, just
go ahead.
Yeah, let's go back to what he just said. Democracy.
It's there. It's up.
Denominator rich white men. And the reason I like to address that, working in the corporate world, I knew a lot about those rich men. And I'm here to tell you, there was a lot going behind closed doors, and a lot of women were abused at the time and not respected. So those are the same men. Those are the same men that are with Trump right now, or with Epstein.
And unfortunately, I know more women that have been molested than not.
Yeah, I hear you. That I hear you loud and clear on that one. I hear you.